Hello everybody, today I'm going to make some trellises, I believe is what they're called. I'm going to build about a 6 foot by 2 foot frame and then kind of build like a snake zigzag pattern so that my something for my cucumbers to actually climb up. I'm going to use 1x2s to build that, and I'm just going to start by cutting some 6 foot by 2 foot pieces and then building that outside frame. Alright, here's what I'm starting off with, basically just the frame of what will be one side of the A-frame cucumber or any vining fruit or vegetable for that matter, trellis. So I just cut 2 6 foot lengths and I put a 45-degree on each end, and then I'm going to do a 2 foot length for the top and the bottom. I've only cut one for now, but like that. So yeah, there you go. 6 feet by 2 feet, 45 the corners, just to make it look pretty. You can do it squared if you want. I like to put 45s on everything. So yeah, there you go. I'm going to cut this second half here, and I'm going to get that all shot together, and then I'll show you how I'm going to do my snaking trellis deal there, what the cucumber will actually climb up as it grows. Yeah, so I built my first frame, which is going to be one side of the A, and now in order to get the zigzag kind of trellis deal that I'm working for here, I'm just keeping it simple. I'm going to make a mark every 1 foot on each side, and I'm just taking a linear piece and setting it underneath and taking it to the first foot mark, and then I'm marking my angle and then cutting it on the saw. So this is my first piece here. You can see that I marked it and I cut it, so it's ended up at my first 1 foot mark. So I'm going to take my next piece and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to set it underneath. And then I'm just going to mark the angle, and then I'll cut it on my saw. And when I get this side finished, I'll give you guys a shot of that. I just wanted to show you guys again how it was getting my angle for these middle lattice pieces. I've done several here, just to show you again. So I'm just taking the piece and putting it underneath, and I've marked every foot on here, so I'm just putting it underneath and then doing the angle with the pin here, wherever the pin went. Here we go. And then I'm just cutting those on my saw. Alright, so I finished one complete side. Like I already stated several times, I marked at about a foot. So you can see here's my 1 foot mark and my 1 foot mark on this side. So what it ended up being was the first one is at 1 foot, and then the second one's going to be at 2 feet, and then it'll continue that 2 feet gap until the very last one, and then it'll be basically like the base one, which would be from the 1 foot mark here to the corner, if that makes any sense. And you don't have to do this snake-like pattern that I did. I have a lot of trellises I built in the past that I did a grid system, so I just did, you know, one run down the middle and then boxes like that. Those work pretty good for me as well. This is actually just something I'm trying out. If you're more savvy with doing angles and stuff, it'll probably be a lot easier for you to do. I don't have a protractor or anything like that to have made it quicker for me to get those angles, but just putting the piece of wood underneath the frame to those pre-marked spots worked well enough for me. So that's what I went with. So yeah, here's one side. I'm gonna finish the other side, and then I'll show you how I'm gonna hinge it together basically to create the A-frame itself. Alright, so I've got my two sides done. As you can see, they came out pretty decent. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the two sides and I'm going to lay them flat on the ground, line them up, something to that effect. And I bought some little hinges, you can see here. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to mount them on the top here. They're just little cheapo guys from Home Depot. They were like $2 a pack, and there's 2 in a pack, which worked out. So I'm going to throw one on each side here, and once I get those installed, I'll set it up and show you what I meant by the A-frame. Just wanted to show you real quick these hinges, how I'm going to do this. I laid it out so that when it's closed into the frame, these will be on the inside. But I'm just going to butt these two up to each other, and then set these here where this will meet. And then I'm gonna mark these holes and then mount these on here. Give me a second. All right, so here she is in place in my garden. I've got my cucumbers already grown up a little bit. What I've done is I've snagged some of these twist ties from the grocery store when I get my fruits and whatnot that I'm not growing at the time from the store, and just kind of train it with these along here. I've got some oregano growing in there too, so I didn't want to crowd it too much. So I wanted to build this frame so that basil could grow in there, and these would grow up. So as these grow longer, I'm just going to train them along with another twist tie, and hopefully my cucumbers will kind of hang here, and I can just, clip them off as they grow. I'm going to end up building several of those, some smaller. I don't think these ones are going to get quite as big as these other ones. I think they're not getting as much water down here. Either way, I'm probably going to only build a little 4-footer for these guys. These ones are 6 feet, and this one will certainly probably grow pretty tall. It's getting pretty long already. It's already a couple feet, so yeah, I'm going to probably build, well, probably about 4 more of them. I've also got some more cucumbers growing back there next to that pepper plant. These 1x2s that are used, I find quite convenient to build stuff in my garden with. I have some Anasazi bean vines that I've got growing up this trellis kind of type deal that I've built here. I used 1x2s for that. What I did was I just built one big frame with about 1.5 feet of these side pieces extending so that I could drive it into the ground. So it's nice and sturdy. I was thinking it was going to be kind of weak, but with these on there, it's pretty wind resistant, and doesn't seem to get tossed around too much. I have also used those 1x2s to build these little cages for my tomatoes, which worked out. It's kind of the end of the life on these guys. I'm still getting some good tomatoes on there, but we trimmed them up quite a bit. We've got quite a bit of tomatoes out of them, so they're kind of worn out now, but these cages I built out of those 1x2s worked great for me. So yeah, if you're looking for ideas on trellises and stuff for your vining plants or whatever else, I really recommend building stuff out of this 1x2. It's super easy to work with. I've also built these ones that I had cucumbers growing on earlier in the year. They didn't vine quite as much as those ones, so I was able to just keep them within here. And then here's another one of my cages I built that I most likely used for a tomato plant that died off. But yeah, there you go. Just wanted to show you guys that in place, and thanks for watching. Alright, so I wanted to shoot a little progress video for this. I'll edit it on the end, but just wanted to show you. I'm actually taking these down now, but they got pretty full. They don't look very good right now. They had aphids infest them, and I had some issues with my sprinkler system, so they're basically at the end of their life now. But they did produce some wickedly large cucumbers, upwards of maybe a couple pounds. I never weighed one, but there's a couple on here still. This one was one of the last ones, but these other ones were like massive. Like this one's small in comparison. My squash did not do very well, but I did get like maybe 4 or 5 squash out of that were really good. So yep, there's that for you.